The paradox of declining female happiness. Okay, this article is from The Guardian, and basically it states, gains in women's rights haven't made women happier. Now, why is that? Let's find out. Since the 70s, women in the US and Europe have reported feeling less satisfied with their lives. Big shocker, since the 70s. What's happened since the 70s, guys? Little something called third wave feminism. Am I right? Third wave feminism. Okay? It's supposed to make women more empowered, more independent, and happier. And it's done the exact opposite. Okay, you see this chick walking around with an umbrella because it's raining. All right, so let's dive into this article real quick. It says, women are outliving men in every country in the world, despite facing higher levels of poverty than men. What? Greater odds of encountering sexual violence and many additional diverse forms of discrimination. Oh, yeah, you're so brave. So brave. Women facing higher levels of poverty than men. Okay. Even with all those women taking men to the cleaners in divorce court. Anyway, but while women are living longer, it's unclear whether their well-being is showing comparable strides. As women gain political, economic, and social freedoms, one would expect that they should feel even more contented relative to men. But this isn't so. The paradox of declining female happiness, says right there, that's where I got the title from. The paradox of declining female happiness was pointed out by economists Betsy Stevenson and Justin Wolfers. Okay, so Betsy Stevenson, I'm assuming this is a female, who is pointing this out. Okay, so it's not some right-winger on Fox, right? It's a female and her male partner. Okay, so the paradox of declining female happiness was pointed out by economists Betsy Stevenson and Justin Wolfers, who also happen to share a house and kids. Okay, it looks like they have a family together. They analyzed the happiness trends of U.S. citizens between 1970 and 2005 and found a surprising result. What is that surprising result? Stevenson and Wolfers discovered that American women rated their overall life satisfaction higher than men in the 1970s. Okay, this was the 70s. Because women were still raising families back then, raising kids. They stayed home with the kids. They got to chill out at home and cook dinners and, run errands. And they didn't have to answer to a boss. They didn't have to punch a clock. They didn't have to worry about deadlines, sales quotas, Monday morning, 7 a.m., sales meetings. They didn't have to worry about any of this stuff. And that's why their happiness was higher than men in the 70s, because we had a great deal of responsibility, right? I don't think it's waned much since the 70s. Our happiness has pretty much remained the same. I've said this before in other coaching videos. Our happiness as men remain the same, but women's happiness has fluctuated through the years. And you know what's made it fluctuate, guys and gals who are watching this? Feminism. Okay, feminism has been a decider in how happy and how miserable you are in life. Unfortunately, if they quizzed most feminists and they were honest about it, they would say, hey, yeah, I'm actually more miserable than I've ever been at any point in my life ever since discovering feminism. Anyway, let's move on with this article. So they discovered that American women were happier than men in the 70s. Let's see what happened. Thereafter, women's happiness scores decreased while men's scores stayed roughly the same. What did I just say? By the 1990s, women were less happy than men. The 1990s, they were less happy than men. We were out there watching The Mighty Ducks and Heat and Point Break and, all these other great movies from that era. Face Off, while women were becoming less happy. Shame on you, men. Shame on you. Okay. This relative unhappiness softened after the turn of the century, but men continue to enjoy a higher sense of subjective well-being that is at least as high, if not higher, than women's. So basically, for guys, we didn't really get any happier. Women just got less happier. Okay, that's all that happened. And you know who to blame for that, women. No, it's not men. It's your little old friend feminism. Okay, those 35 years saw advances in Okay, so since the 70s, we're talking since the 70s, those 35 years saw advances in American women's rights and financial power. For example, in 1974, Congress outlawed credit discrimination based on sex. I didn't even know they had that. In 1975, states were prevented from excluding women from juries. And until 1976, marital rape was legal in every U.S. state. It was? Over the 35-year period, women working full-time went from earning less than 60% of a man's median salary to earning 76% of it. Still an embarrassment for a country that aspires to be a meritocracy. But an improvement nonetheless. Meritocracy, my ass. That's why they have quotas for how many women are supposed to be in certain positions, in our military, in corporations. Get out of here, meritocracy. What are you talking about? This is why you have female fighter pilots crashing into the ocean and losing their lives, because the government is pushing more women in more quotas for women to be involved in jobs where they should not be. Anyway, moving on. Of course, things happened during the period in question that probably made American women less happy. Take, for example, the massive rise in incarceration among their actual and potential male partners. This rise wouldn't have left traces in the male unhappiness. What? Okay, because prisoners were not included in the satisfaction surveys. So they're just basically saying more guys have gone to jail. And that's the reason why more women are single. So that's their reasoning here. That's their little leftist argument. But putting more men in prison cannot fully explain the lessening happiness of American women, because women in other industrialized countries, which do not lock up nearly as many of their men, have also become less happy. So there goes your little excuse, ladies, that more guys are in prison. That's why you're less happy. Because even in countries where there are less guys in prison, your happiness levels have also declined. Stevenson and Wolfers found that the gap between male and female happiness in Europe over approximately the same period of time had a strikingly similar trend and magnitude to the U.S. gender happiness gap. You know why? It's because feminism has reached all four corners of the globe. That's why. Feminism, feminism, feminism. How many times we got to say this? So why is this? Evidence supports the idea that women's rights and roles in the home and in the US and Europe have not moved in step with changes in the workplace. Therefore, because women with jobs often do most of the chores and childcare, I knew they were going to do this. I knew they were going to play victim at some point. It's not because of feminism. It's because women are working and they have to raise kids, whereas men are used to doing this. I guarantee that's what the rest of this article is about. And sure enough, as I scroll down and read a little bit more, that's what it is. They're basically playing victim again. I mean, that's what leftists and, feminists love to do. They love to play victim and love to... Funny enough, there's a feminist article right next to it here. But they love to play victim whenever... even with the truth staring them in the face why they're less happy. It's because of feminism. Okay? It's not because you have to work and take care of kids. Obviously that adds to the stress, but it's because feminism has made you more miserable. It's made you less of a woman. It's made you more masculine. And guess what? Your biological need to be feminine is being conflicted by your retarded need to support feminism. So it's a lot of reason why you're unhappy, girls. Goes on to say, expectations also lie behind the curious finding that performing household chores make men statistically less likely to become depressed, but contributes to depression in women? Taking on housework seems to encourage men to judge themselves as generally likable, fair-minded dudes, kindly reducing their wives' load. On the other hand, taking on housework seems to make women feel exploited. Oh my God. This is exactly what I mean. It's even with this, this feminist swaying article, they still can't just like, they made some good points and then they ruin it down here by playing victim. Like, this is the reason why we're so unhappy. It's not feminism, it's you men. You men. It's like always us. They feel exploited taking on housework, and they feel exploited doing like laundry and cooking. Jeez, I mean, even if the guy does his share and he does half the cooking, half the laundry, she'll still feel exploited. So basically, she just wants to sit on the couch like a fat piece of shit while you do everything. And if you don't, then guess what? You're a misogynist, right? But this article basically just leads to pointing the finger at men, as I knew it would. But at least they were ballsy enough to point out that gains in women's rights haven't made women any happier, right? They tried to explore it, and they were on the right track until the bottom when they started playing victim, as they usually do, right? They usually circle back around to somehow it's men's fault that they feel less satisfied, when really the problem is feminism, ladies. Okay, feminism has screwed you more than you can ever imagine in your thought process, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. It has screwed you over and over and over, right? It's made you care less about your physical appearance, your weight. It's made you care more about your pocketbook, competing with men, okay? It's made you less spiritual. I've never met so many women who are like, they write in their profile, spiritual but not religious. I got to do a whole coaching video on that. Women's like profile. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. You know, women that, you know, even just 10 years ago were going to church regularly that were Christians. I mean, obviously, if it's that easy to sway them away from, or whatever religion they were practicing, you know, I'm not just talking about Christianity, but whatever religion they're practicing, now they are spiritual but not religious. Just to sum this article up, we red pill guys, we know what's behind this and why women are so unhappy these days since the 70s, right? No surprise at all. No surprise at all. So I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, don't forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube. Also, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton, especially when I'm reporting on these very, very red pill topics in our community that YouTube does not like me doing, because they are not recommending my videos anymore. So I need your help. Share my videos with other like-minded guy friends of yours, other guys who will gain value out of this knowledge, which should be most guys, right? You would think. And yeah, make sure that they subscribe as well. It'll help me out a ton, and it will force YouTube's algorithm to start promoting my videos again, so it can reach other men and we can spread this red pill knowledge everywhere, because it needs to be spread. Okay, enough of this feminism stuff. And for you guys who want to support my work and everything I'm teaching here on my channel, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program. It's called 7 Months to Mastery. You can access the link below. I usually put it right in the comments. I'm usually first. I pin my comment to the top. You just click that link there, and that will take you right to my sign-up page where you could get into 7 Months to Mastery for only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. This is where I am going to teach you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s. I'm talking about women who are not feminists. I'm talking about women who are not out there riding the CC and waiting till their 30s when they're damaged goods to settle down, but instead are still young, still in their 20s, still at their sexual peak and their prime of physical attractiveness, and looking for guys like you to settle down with, to jump into a relationship with, to even just to hang out with. You know, I mean, it's cool if you find like a cool girl that's hot and cute that you can hang out with. I mean, I teach you how to find these girls, okay? And they're getting harder and harder to find, okay? You're not going to find them on Tinder. You're not going to find them on Bumble. You're not going to find them on, you know, any dating apps. The only way to find them is to go out there and cold approach them. Go to the right venues. Find out where they go and approach them cold, which is what I teach you to do. I teach you how to find, meet, and attract these women into your life. I've been doing this for my entire adult life, over 2 decades now, and I've taught thousands of men all around the world how to do exactly what I teach you in 7 Months of Mastery. Many of these guys have actually gone on to get married. I mean, guys that swore to me up and down they would never get married found a super cool chick, super hot girl that they just had so much in common with that they decided, like, hey, I never thought I was going to get married, but man, I'm getting married. You know, and I'm not promoting marriage here. I'm just saying I've had students who have gone that route just because the lessons that they learned from me were so powerful, and they met such a cool girl that is like basically a unicorn that's so hard to find, wasn't a feminist, didn't have, like, you know, dozens and dozens of guys that they've had sex with in the past, still young, still hot, just cool girl, and they married her, right? And I've had a number of students go that route. Okay. And for you guys who aren't looking to do that, if you're just looking to bring cool girls into your life, man, I teach you how to do it in 7 Months of Mastery. And again, the first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. So try it out for yourself and see if you like it. Okay, just click that link below on any of my coaching videos. It will take you right here, and then you can just get signed up right now. It takes like literally 2 seconds. You just put in your name, your email address, you click continue, and that will bring you over to the sign up page. And you pay your buck, and then boom, you're in 7 Months of Mastery, and you're on your way. This is the kind of stuff they did not teach you in school, fellas. You didn't learn how to pick up women from Disney movies or your parents, teachers, or society. This is something that you can only learn from an experienced pickup artist like myself. I'm one of the best in the world, so you're not going to be learning from Joe Schmo off Craigslist. You're going to be learning from somebody who actually does this stuff. I don't hide behind a microphone. I don't just write red pill books but don't actually live the lifestyle that I teach you guys how to live. I'm actually living it. And for you guys who want to see more proof, there are tons of infield videos here on my channel, the 33 Secrets, as well as on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you can do that as well. I'm at Matt Cross Official. Okay, follow me on Instagram as well. But if you want to learn how to do this stuff, man, you got to learn from the best. And I am one of the best, and I have no shame in admitting that. Okay, and again, first month's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. So sign up now. It's the absolute best way to support my work. And you know what? In return, you're going to be gaining a ton of value. You're going to be gaining life lessons about women and how to approach them and pick them up than you ever have in all your years on this planet. Okay, and it's only $1. I mean, this is like the most insane value for a program of this magnitude ever offered. All right, so I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross signing out, and I will see you in my next coaching video. Have a great day, guys.